Hey, welcome back. And in today's video, I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. Tell you, there's a lot of new people here. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself, who I am, how I got here, and I think it was cool. We're coming up on the end of the year, and I guess I'm gonna do an end of the year review. But we got some. Let's talk about the hard stuff. So, if you got your rep mug, bring them on out. So first off, if you guys don't know, my name is Shane, and you call me Repzilla. I got this name way back when I was like 5 years old. My mother and father got me a Sega Genesis, first game system that I ever had, and you put your names in on your characters and stuff like that, and I would always go by like Godzilla and then Reptar as it progressed down. So I'd always be either Reptar or Godzilla. I was a really big fan of Godzilla and Rugrats. And then one day, World of Warcraft came out, and I started playing World of Warcraft with my buddies and everything. So I put in Reptar and I put in Godzilla, but they were taken. That's a bummer. And I sit there and racked my brain like, what could I call myself? And then I realized, well, I could combine them, and that's where you get Repzilla. So now you know. So I'd always been making videos when I was younger, and I'd always been really business savvy. I opened up my first business at the age of like 16 with the help of my grandfather, and it was skate parks and skate shops and stuff like that. And I got into that, and that's when I first learned about making international phone calls and dealing with people to make business deals and stuff like that. Nothing that I learned from school, but not saying that school's bad or anything. You should definitely go to school. It's awesome sometimes. Growing up, my childhood was difficult, very difficult. My family was, I think it was very similar to a lot of families in the northern Georgia area. If you're from that area of the South of the United States, you understand the struggle. My family was violent. They argued. They struggled with money, bad decisions, and most of them still do. And they are just really abusive towards each other. And that's pretty much my childhood in a nutshell. So, I mean, they loved each other, but that's just how it was. And this caused me to not want to stay home a lot, so I was away. And I remember getting into it with my father a lot, and to the point where I was actually kicked out of my father's house at the age of 15. Oh, if it didn't say my mother and father were separated. They separated when I was 10, and my little brother was 5. And that was mostly because my mother was a real hardcore drug addict, and she's the coolest person you ever met, coolest person, greatest personality in the whole entire world, except she did drugs. She did hard drugs, heroin, meth, things like that. Stole a lot, did a lot of bad things, got arrested a lot, jail stuff. My father wasn't like that. My father was always a really hard-working man, but I imagine that being a single father was very difficult on him. So we didn't get along as time went, and he kicked me out at the age of 15. And not that I was home that much anyway. I was always out. So I went and lived with some friends off and on until about the age of like 18. And then that's when I was like, I'm gonna get my own place. And I've been pretty much about the age of 17, 18. I've been on my own pretty much ever since. Been on my own for the majority of my entire life, even before that. So I started reading a lot in 2012, and I learned most of everything that I am today through books. So I wasn't raised really by anybody, but my grandparents were always very supportive and stuff. But I learned, my role models were Dale Carnegie, Anthony Robbins, Napoleon Hill, you name it. I got so many books over there, and I just read these books, and that's how I learned to be the person that I am, basically. And I wrote a post the other day on my Facebook. Yes, I do have a Facebook account. I have Facebook, Instagram, and all the good stuff. So if you wanna get on those, descriptions are in the links below. Wow, I said that wrong. Anyways, what I'm saying is I can't say that it had no role models, or at least positive role models, but the people that were in my life growing up let me know what was good and bad behavior, because when you see an extreme, you can also notice the extreme of the other. What I mean by that is, without good, you don't know what bad is. Without bad, you don't know what good is. So I'm very grateful for the childhood that I did have. And even though I have so many mental issues now, but hey, who doesn't? You do what you can. But it was around 2015 when I wanted to do a new business venture. I was dating this girl and it just wasn't working out. But I had a friend, it was my best friend, and we came together and we had this idea, and we wanted to get a group of people, rent a mansion. Now this is where it's gonna sound crazy, and move into it and try to create this mastermind group, kind of like the movie Fight Club without all the fighting. And we did it. We talked 8 people into moving to this place, and we did the thing, all except for everybody got the wrong idea about the place. They never wanted to focus on business. They always wanted to party. And after the year lease ran out, I got out of that and went into a little bit of real estate, and finally started doing videos and live streaming. I did live streaming during the whole mansion phase of my life. And I remember we just started doing it and thought it was so cool. I didn't have anything much to do with streaming at that point. It wasn't until a year later where I started playing this game. A company reached out to me and they're like, hey, you're really good at this game. And they basically paid me to play it. So that's when I became a professional gamer. And then I took that and I went over to live streaming, because the live streaming service was like, hey, you're partnered with this, so partner with us, we'll pay you to play. And then I got a couple sponsorships. Nexon was one of them, and I thought I had made it. I was making pretty decent money at the time, but I just wasn't happy live streaming, like playing video games in general. I think the only reason I was doing it was because the friends that I was hanging out with at the time were also heavily into video games, and I never could. I mean, video games has always been a part of my life, but as I grew, I just felt more important things, a calling for more important things. I wanted to be a public speaker and do things like that. So we decided that we was all going to move out to Chattanooga. That's right, Greg. I got Greg in 2012, by the way. Greg, come here. Oh, Greg, you smell pretty. Why do you smell so pretty? So I got Greg in 2012. He wasn't actually mine. The girl I was dating at that time brung home a kitten, and well, the rest is history. We moved out to Chattanooga, and one of my friends wants to be a professional gamer and live streamer. He's streaming out on Mixer. And my other friend, I got him a job with me. I was a store manager at Verizon Wireless at the time. And we did that, and we lived together, and it was pretty fun. We went out and we did stuff. I wasn't very serious into anything. And then one day I started getting really depressed. I don't know why. It was just everything all together. It was just, I just was at a point in my life where I thought I'd be somewhere else, you know. I thought I would be further along, I guess. And I think a lot of us feel that way. I was talking to a new friend that I met off Tinder. That's never a good thing, is it? So while I was talking to her, I got hit by a car. So I was hit by a car, and I never saw it coming. Lady was texting on her phone, lost control, ran up on the sidewalk. I woke up in the hospital a couple weeks later, didn't know heads from tails, had a brain injury. I was pretty messed up, couldn't walk. And after I came to terms with everything, I knew what I needed to do. I needed to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. So I told my friend to go and get me a pad of paper and a pen, and I wrote down what I wanted to do. I wanted to make videos. what I wanted to do was I wanted to make videos to find a group of like-minded people, and that's why our community exists today. And I wanted to travel the world and be a public speaker, and I'm going to get there. We're not there quite yet. We're still building up the platform, but so I've been doing YouTube ever since I got home, which was February 26th of 2017, and I've did videos pretty much every single day. And there have been days where I didn't get the video out in time, but I was always making content in some form or fashion. But I just wanted to make this because there's a lot of new people here today, and I wanted to fill you in. And if you got any questions about anything, let me know. You can email me. Links are below. But yeah, I thought that it would be a really cool thing to do, is just tell you a little bit more about me, myself, and how I got here. And I guess one of the biggest takeaways you can get from this is that even with no positive role models in your life, you can still look at the negatives and turn them into positives. So now we're approaching 50,000 subscribers. We're getting there pretty quick. That's cool. I think we're going to get 100,000 next year. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm glad that you're along with me for the ride. So as interesting as it is, go ahead and leave your interesting and creative responses in the comment box below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bam! Turn up in the mansion.
I got 40 in the studio every night, late night. Gotta watch this shit, don't wanna make them sick. That's my nigga, oh Lord.
Watching it. Here we go. Right now.
Oh shit, Greg. Here, oh Greg, you are awesome.
Easy. What's your name?
Angela,
Angela. This is my
speech therapist.
speech therapist, and what are we gonna do today?
We're gonna work on your brain.
We're gonna work on my brain, and then I'm gonna ask her when I can go home. But you guys, big point is that you got to help people and share experiences with people now, not later, but now. You actually have to commit to the act, because you're wasting valuable time, because you don't know if you're just gonna go walking down the street. A car might lose control, flip a couple times, and then hit you in the back of the head. Something great is gonna happen in my life.